So this is what happens when your tires are dead, it's cold outside, and you get on throttle a little bit early. So yeah, now that it's October, it's getting kind of cold. I think the morning it was like 43 degrees, and then later in the day it got up to 50 or a little bit above 50, low 50s. But that's a stark contrast between, I think, the prior week when we did the autumn leaf, it was like 80 degrees or a little bit in the low 80s. So 30-degree difference is definitely going to have something to do with your grip out there. Parking lot also seemed to be a little bit overly dusty. I always find when I come to North Park and I run here and then I come back home, my car's like covered and caked in dust. I always thought it was pollen, but it's definitely not pollen at this time of year. So I think it's just dust, and I think it's just from running. It kicks it all up and everything, and it makes the surface actually more slick than it is. So I don't know. I kind of felt like that. I know I talked to a couple other people, and they kind of felt the same way. So I think the dust has something to do with grip too, and it, with the cold temperatures and the dust, it just wasn't helping overall today. And then I had a slight issue on one of my runs. I actually just went up to the line, and I don't know, I wasn't thinking or whatever. I forgot to turn the traction control off, so I tried launching the car with traction control off in these cold temperatures, and it just immediately was like, nope, you can't have those revs. So it bogged down right off the launch, and then I tried pressing the button, and you have to hold it for 5 seconds. So I was trying to hold it for 5 seconds while accelerating at full throttle in first gear, and it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds, and I had to immediately shift in the second there, so I had to take my hand off it. So I ran one run completely with the traction control, and it just wasn't the best. I think the traction control just kicks in way too much, especially when it's too slick like this, and you're way better just modulating the throttle with your foot. That's the best way to do it, not let the computer do it, because the computer just likes to kind of pull back at random points, and it's just not good. But either way, it was still a pretty good event. It's always challenging, with the dust, with the cold temperatures. It's something a little different, than running in the summer the entire year. It being 80 degrees and whatnot. So I was still having fun, So here I am getting ready for my 6th run. Trying to get traction off the line here was actually pretty difficult. The rear wheels just kept spinning. There's like no tread on them at this point. Heading down here, getting tucked in here, looking up and getting on throttle. A little early there, but it was okay. And then staying close to the left cones here, heading into the slalom. I felt like that was the best line to get through there, just staying tight and tidy. Coming down here, pushing, and I was always thinking, we're going to go down the hill here, like we have been in previous events, but we're not. There's this kind of like kink section in there, and then coming down here, make sure not to get on throttle too early, and then kind of power through the finish. So yeah, this wasn't, like the best finish I ever had. It wasn't the worst finish I ever had either. So, I mean, I can't really, ask a whole lot right now. I harp on my tires a lot, but I checked them after this event, and on the rears, there's like literally almost no tread at all. They're actually pretty bad. So I'm kind of waiting to see what the weather is for next week. It might rain. It's going to be cold again. Still going to come either way, but it's just going to be a little dicey. I might be putting on my all seasons for my WRX that do fit on this car just to get up here, and then swapping to my race tires for the actual event. We will see, but either way, that was the end of event number 8, I believe it is here. Just a cold one. Gotta be cold next week, but hey, that's what you get, come the fall time here. And it's always kind of interesting, I will kind of say this. I kind of like coming up here, in North Park in the fall time. It's cold. You've got your coffee in the morning. You've got, you can see all the leaves and everything changing. It's kind of cool. So I'll be back next week for at least one more event, which will mark 29 events here for the year for me. Hope I can get to maybe 30. We'll see. But I think I'm going to end the year at 29 events. So see you guys next week.